Hi, and welcome to this Q&A session for the film Always Amber, which is part of the 31st edition of the Nordisk Panorama Film Festival. This film is nominated for New Nordic Voice, but it also has a chance to win the Audience Award, so do not forget to vote online after this session. My name is Cecilia Lidin, and I'll be the host of this Q&A, and I have the pleasure of talking with one of the directors for now, Hannah. Do you use both your last names, Hannah, or just one of them? Hannah Bergenman Reinikainen?
Hannah Reinikainen right now.
Hannah Reinikainen. And you co-directed this film together with Lia Hietala.
Yes.
That might join us in a moment, or maybe it's just the two of us, but that's fine.
Yes.
Hannah, can I start by asking you where this all began? You know, sometimes a filmmaker wants to address an issue or a theme, and then you find the character, or sometimes you just meet the character that you need to make a film about. Which was it with Amber?
Actually, me and Leah had been talking about making a film together. We never did anything together before. We were just friends. So, and then both of us were working in filmmaking. So we decided to do something together. And we learned to know each other when we were 16 and 17 years old, as Amber and Sebastian are in the beginning of the film. So, and we, our first thought when we were talking about doing a film was to make a film that was about friendship and especially that identifying teenage friendship that's really important when you grow up. And for us, we wanted to make the friendship story as an epic love story. So that was our main interest when we started making this film. And then I had been working at another film as assistant director. And Amber and Sebastian were a part of, they were a part of a teenage group that were in the film, but this was a fiction film. So they came together there and they were just so cute. I saw them and I could really identify with their strong friendship. And we had also been talking about, me and Leah, that it was important for us that the persons in front of the camera should be queer, because we wanted to make a film that the struggle of being queer was not the main issue of the film, that the persons in front of the camera just happened to be queer, and then the film would be about something else of friendship in this particular film. So I talked about them with Leah because I thought them were so cute and cool together, and she called them up and asked if we could have a Swedish fika, and yeah, that was it.
It was really the feeling I got when seeing the film as well, which I really thought a lot about, that it felt like a film about friendship. And as you say, it is a love story when you have your first and best friend, and maybe it's always like that. But then I was wondering about the structure of the film, because in the beginning, nonetheless, you start with the more technical part of transgender, with the conversation between Amber and, I don't think she's a doctor, but she's a person taking care of the possibility of transitioning. Is that correct understood?
Yeah. She's the person that is in control of that. So yeah.
So could you explain why you choose to start with that? Is that kind of to introduce the theme and introduce the pronouns and the way we talk about it, or what were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, for us it was an easy way to start a film and to get Amber's pronoun right and Amber's name. It was just a really easy way to start a film, and also because we haven't really planned for the transition to happen when we were filming, Amber decided to get in contact with the transgender care clinic here in Stockholm while we were filming. So that was something that happened. It became a very big part of Amber's life. So it was hard for us to not include that in the story. So we decided to film this meeting because we got access to filming it together with the doctor Cecilia and Amber. So that was something that we used a thread in the film also to get all the relationships in the right places, Amber talking about their mother, talking about Olivera later on. So it was important for us to have something that was pushing the film forward, but not where the issue of the film, the climax of the film should be. That it was important for us that the climax of the film should be within the friendship story with Sebastian.
Mm. So getting the information across in a
Yeah.
way, in a relevant way. Well, it works very well. I was curious about Amber's involvement in the filmmaking. I mean, you have a wonderful moment in the beginning where she explains to her friends that somebody wants to make a film about me and Sebastian. So we all, from the very beginning, it's clear that she's not just. I mean, we see that she's also filming the material, but she's also involved in the filmmaking process. Is that correct? Understood, or?
Yes, that is correct. And also, I just wanted to add that Amber's pronoun in English is they.
They,
So, yeah, just a reminder.
I would make a mistake.
But yeah, Amber were a big part of the film. It was very, very important for both me and Leah because we don't have the same experiences as Amber, to give Amber a camera themselves, to make Amber like an author of the film as well. So that was like a very important thing for us to do. And Amber's own material were so great. They were really good with the camera. In the beginning it was a bit of a struggle because Amber is used to like filming like Snapchat or Instagram stories, which are very short. So we were like, oh, you should just keep on filming and everything is interesting. Even when you're like brushing your teeth, everything is interesting for us. So we kept on pushing Amber to like film more, but then it became really great. And I think that voice in the film is a very important layer.
And it also adds something to the material of the film or the cinematic format, if you want. Could you tell me how you work with that? Because it is clear that Amber's material is different than some of the other material, but it works very well in combination, but it also creates a certain cinematic language.
Yeah, thank you. I think that in the beginning, when we were editing the film, we tried to make the film more clean and not that kind of punky feeling that it has now. We tried to like cut away everything when we were like not in the right position with the camera, but then we were just like, oh, when we got Amber's own material, everything like fell in the right place, and we were like, we have to go with this feeling. This is something that should be the film, because it's also like, if you know Amber, it's also Amber's way of like telling the film, and like being a little bit of a punk person. It was something that we had to go with it. And also like adding the music, the soundtrack of the film made by Shit Kid, which is a group from Stockholm, and the music just like got really well together with Amber's own material and also our more shaky material when we were like adding that. So that was something that we decided on, but we came with that idea quite late in the process. Like in the beginning, it was really struggle with editing the film, like trying to make it clean and like, I don't know, classic film.
I think it feels like it reflects her very well, and you call it more punky, but I'm thinking it also feels like the different Ambers, if I may say so, comes across through the cinematic style. Because the first time we see them, it's in the conversation with what I choose to call the doctor, very quiet and calm, and then there's the more punky material, which is more maybe with the friends, and then there's the relationship with the mother. But if I'm not totally wrong, it takes a while until we come to the more family-oriented story. We start by staying within their community, I mean, within the friendships and stuff, and no school, no work, nothing. It's really friendship. And then at a certain point, we get closer to the family as well, which is also an important part of the story. Could you tell a bit about your choices of when to include the mother, or maybe if you thought not to include her at some point, or?
Yeah, it was like, as you're saying, in the beginning of the film, you're very much in the safe space of Amber and Sebastian, except from that first meeting with the doctor. You're in their safe space, you're just hanging out with Amber and Sebastian. Like the first 15 minutes of the film is just they hanging out in Amber's room and also in the bathroom. So it's very like, they're just in this little apartment, and it's very just their safe space. And that was something that we were thinking about, because we wanted, like the last scene of the film is when they're in the Pride Parade. It's like very, like they're out in society, they're out in an open environment together with a lot of people. So that was something that we really thought about, having that as a thread in the film as well. And also adding the family in the beginning of the filmmaking, we didn't include Amber's mother at all, but Amber's mother is such an important part of Amber's life, and so like such a great person, and very supporting of Amber's choices. So it was very important for us to have her with us. It was a struggle for us to make her want to be in the film, because she was a little bit anxious about being in front of the camera, but then she's great. I think she's one of like the best persons I ever seen in front of the camera, because she's so like herself, and very, very supportive of Amber. So yeah.
So you follow Amber and the life for 3 years, is that correct?
Yes.
And I'm wondering, how do you end a story like this? Because one of the beautiful things about this story is, in a way, the lack of drama. Or don't get me wrong, but I mean that in a good sense. Like, there's not a lot of resistance. There's not a lot of society against their development. The mother is supportive. There is, of course, the doctor system kind of, asking questions. But then I'm thinking, then it could also feel like, when do you stop filming? Because their life keeps on continuing,
Yeah, but for us it was like the most easy decision for us, because it was so natural for us to stop when Amber and Sebastian got together again, because that was our dream, like making this film. Like when we were filming, in the middle of the process, we were like, oh, it would be so nice for it to end with Amber and Sebastian together again, like hanging out. And then it happened, but it happened like a couple of months. We were actually in editing when they were going to the Pride Parade together, and we just happened to call Amber, and we were like, what are you going to do during Pride? And they were like, oh, I'm going to the Pride Parade, actually together with Sebastian. And we were like, what the fuck are you talking? And then so, and that was like one of their first meetings after this whole breakup thing. So it was it was just like, that was the end of the film. It was very obvious for us when we were making it. We were like, oh, we have it. Like, I remember saying that to Leah after we filmed it. It was like, this is going to be the last scene of the film, and it became the last scene.
Could you address a bit the work of being two directors, co-directing? How do you divide the positions, if you maybe just work organically together somehow?
We divide it. We have Leah is always doing the filming, and I'm always in the sound. So we're just two persons. Like almost everything in the film is just shot by me and Leah together with Amber and their friends. So we divide it like that. And when it comes to the editing, both of us have been editing the film. I did some kind of a rough cut, like going through all the material that we filmed, and did like a line that was maybe, I don't know, 1.5 hours with just our own stuff. And then Leah came in and went through Amber's own material and added that. So we like divided it like that as well. But I think people say that it's very hard, like doing documentaries two persons, but I don't think it is. Like, if you find the right partner, I think it's so much easier. Actually, it's really, really hard making a documentary yourself. It's like you always have to be two on set, like someone doing the sound, someone doing the filming. So, but for me and Leah, it works great.
And you just mentioned it, you also edited yourselves. Was that ever a challenge? I mean, that's something that we often say in documentary, that you need to have an editor that can look at your material in a new way, give it new eyes, give it new life, not to end up, I mean, how do you deal with killing all the darlings you need to kill when it's your own material? And but that worked.
Yeah, I think it can be a struggle for some parts of the editing. We also had other editors with us. We had Charlotte Landelius, and then we had Anton with us for like making the last cuts of the film. So, and they were so important, like being there, like in that time, it was so important having them with us. But I think it's like, I have also been working as an editor before. I've been editing another feature film before. So it was I just did it the way I used to do it, and Leah is very good with like coming with feedback. And when it was her turn to like go through Amber's own material and adding that and making something of that and finding our style, she's very good with that. I think it just went like organically, like the film built itself, as I'm like been talking about before, together with like the punk feeling of the film. We just had to go with it, so it was just something that organically just did itself. We like, of course it's a struggle sometimes, but like, yeah.
Have you, because you mentioned it earlier as well, I think the fact that it's kind of a point not to show a struggle. It's a point to show queer environment being just that, friendship being just that, you know, all the troubles. Have you had any resistance from the outside world, so to speak, to the film, thinking that you should have dealt with it in a different way, or you should have angled it more towards the difficulties which is within the community as well?
Of course, but we thought there would be more of that than it has been, actually, because this film is like, our main audience for this film are other queer youth. So that was just our main idea from the beginning, that we wanted to reach out to them. And like, it seems that a lot of other people can enjoy the film as well. And I think if you like keep it open as well, like it is a film about growing up and about friendship and finding your identity. I think a lot of people can relate to that, not having Amber's experiences as well. But of course, people has been saying, like, especially from the older generation who don't really know much about this stuff, wanted to know more about being like a non-binary person and what that means and what you feel. But this film is more for a younger audience, I would say. And that was our main focus from the beginning, that it should be a film about friendship, and it shouldn't be something that you're learning on how a non-binary person is and what all their thoughts are, and about being non-binary. So that was our main idea from the beginning. It was a statement for us to do the way we did it.
Yeah, and speaking as the older generation, it certainly succeeds in tackling the universal themes, which we all can recognize in friendship. And then the added value is this new generation of queers with a different way of looking at things and doing things in a more fluid way. It's just a big add-on for all of us, but I can absolutely see that it's targeted towards a younger group, which brings me maybe to my final question. And I would, congratulations to that you also in Berlin with your film, and it's quite an accomplishment. I presume this is your first feature-length film?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was our dream from the beginning. We were like, our dream is to go to the Berlinale, but we didn't even like dare speaking about it. I was like, every time Leah took it up, I was like, be quiet, we can't talk about this. This is too much, we can't wish for it to happen. And then it happened, and it was amazing. And we managed to have the premiere right before the corona hit. So we also managed to like have screenings with a lot of young people and like for the audience that we wanted to reach. So it's been great. That was an amazing experience. Yeah,
lucky you, just before it locked down. Very good. But then my final question would be the plan for the film. I mean, did you have any plans for, I think a film like this can make a huge impact, and if you want to reach the younger audiences, is there any plan for that specifically in Sweden, I'm thinking?
Yeah, our plan is to like go to schools, where I have a plan together with Folkets Bio here in Stockholm, and also having it in schools for like young people to see it in schools, but then also having it online for streaming, of course, because that's where the young audience are right now. And after this cinema thing and having it been on SVT, which is going up on, I think it's in November or December, then we will put it up on YouTube for everyone to watch. Right. Yeah, because people want to watch it for free as well. So yeah, and like worldwide. So because SVT is only in Sweden. So yeah,
exactly. Sounds great. Sounds like a great plan. good luck with that. And
Thank you.
thank you very much for this talk, and thank you to everyone that's watching. And just a reminder that please remember to vote for the Audience Award, and remember all the other great films going on at Nordisk Panorama these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you.